Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it will be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! First story. Entitled Mom Calls Cops After I Body Slam Her Son Because He Hit My Autistic Brother. Okay, so basically I, 16 male, took my 10-year-old brother out for the day. Everything was going well until we decided to go get some boba. Now my brother's autism is a bit severe and he tends to just randomly scream here and then. So while we were waiting in line, he did just that and scared this kid in front of us who was with his mom. This made him drop his boba. I tried to apologize on my brother's behalf, explained his condition, and even offered to pay him for another. The mother though started lashing out and said some seriously messed up stuff like, "I don't want your money, you should use it for your brother's therapy, and he deserves to be in a mental hospital." All because her kid, who was actually like 14 or 15, got scared and dropped his boba. I was about to leave with my brother in disgust when this guy took a swing at my brother and hit him in the chest. I wasn't gonna do anything to that and I swear he was about to take another swing. But before that happened, I grabbed him and slammed him on one of the tables. Then the mom started screaming louder than a World War II siren and told people around that I just assaulted her son who apparently had anger issues. When I saw her calling the police, I just laughed and went to check on my brother, who was just crying and yelling in pain. Since nobody ever hit him that hard before, I wasn't worried because the police had cameras and witnesses who clearly saw how demented they were. Fast forward the months, she's now facing a $2,000 fine and her son was put back on probation. For that kid's safety, I hope I never see him again. Next story. Entitled Dad Threatens to Beat Me Up Because I Charged His Daughter for Gas on a Rental Car. One place in particular was a national rental car chain, where I have the best stories. Before working there, I thought the industry was just gonna be full of business guys and vacationers, so I wouldn't really have to deal with much crap. Boy, was I young and dumb. This particular branch was hit or miss. Some days we would be crazy busy, others we'd be so slow, we'd take out for oil changes just for the hell of it to give us something to do. On one particular day, both of my manager and assistant manager asked if they could go grab food for all of us, and if I could man the shop. Everyone there was super chill, even the managers, so there was a lot of just chilling around. I of course agree and chill and look at my phone when the office phone rings. It's some older gentleman who asks for me specifically. Speaking, I say. And our conversation goes a little something like this. The entitled dad goes, "Is this OB? Yeah, how can I help you? My daughter just returned a rental car at your location and I see a $25 fuel charge on there that shouldn't be there. I'm expecting a refund right now, or I will be giving corporate a call and maybe you'll listen to them." Me, still keeping my cool? "Not a problem, sir. Let me check your file to verify that you didn't prepay for the fuel. Let me put you on a quick hold." The entitled dad starts screaming something along the lines of, "Don't put me on hold. No one puts me on hold." Beep goes on hold anyway. Checking his file. Notes clearly say that fuel was declined and the customer signed a line stating that they agreed to a $25 refueling fee if they don't return it with the amount of fuel that it was sent out with. "Hi sir, I reviewed your file and unfortunately I'm not able to issue a refund because your daughter agreed to pay the fuel charge if the vehicle wasn't returned at the level we sent it out at. Apologies for the inconvenience, but we do make this clear to our customers since this is common but understandable source of confusion." Had this guy started the conversation off by not being a piece of trash, I would have easily given him his refund. but I refused to let entitled jerks win.
What the hell? Oh, I see. You just saw a young girl walk into your rental car place and you thought that you could scam her. How does it feel robbing a young girl of $25? I'll bet you have the money in your pocket right now.
Sir, unfortunately, this is our policy. We do not scam our customers and clearly indicate what you'll be paying for before the rental. We also make sure to tell you how to avoid the fees. In this case, our advice was not followed, so we will not be able to process a refund for you.
Let me talk to a manager, now.
Sorry, sir. They are not in the office right now, but I'll tell you. They will give you the same answer. They should be back in about 20 to 30 minutes if you want to call back then. Again, super chill manager, so I knew I had nothing to worry about, and that they would take my side.
What the hell? No, some of us have things to do today. I don't want to spend my day at some rental car place. You guys are scumbags. You know what? I'm coming down there right now and I'm gonna have a little talk with you face to face. You're not gonna be so tough when I come down.
Unfortunately, all I could do was audibly laugh at this guy, which only made it worse. I'm looking forward to it, sir.
You just think you're so tough, don't you? You have no idea the people in high places that I know in this state. I now know your first and last name, buddy. I wouldn't be laughing.
Sir, if you have any problem with me, I invite you to come down and resolve it in person. I'll be here until 6 this evening.
I'm coming right now, buddy. You think I'm not serious?
Okay then, see you soon.
Beep.
I hang up. About 20 minutes later, my manager gets back and I tell him what happened. My manager burst out laughing and just said, "Can we hear?" We went back and listened to the recording and both of my manager and assistant were just dying laughing. Were you just threatened over $25? Apparently, I joked. We all shared a good laugh and honestly forgot about it for the rest of the afternoon, until I saw a car pull up and see a familiar girl get out of the car with what looked like her mom. Guess who? It was the entitled dad's daughter and her mom. I peered into the car to see the entitled dad pouting in the passenger seat. He looked like a child that was told no for the first time. And the best part, he threatened me and wouldn't even get out of the car to face me himself. He sends his wife and daughter to do his dirty work. This should give you some indication about the type of guy we're dealing with here. The entitled mom walks in with the entitled daughter and starts screaming, berating my assistant manager.
Your employee, OP, needs to be fired. He scammed my daughter out of money and we want it back.
And the assistant manager tells her, "Ma'am, OP already explained to you why we can't do that. I'll give you two choices. You can leave now on your own, or I can call the police and they can tell you to leave. Up to you."
Okay then, screw you. We're never using this rental car place again. I cannot wait until we call corporates and tell them all about this little incident.
She furiously leaves the shop and goes back to her car. And this is where the most amazing thing happened. It made me believe in karma. She was so angry and flustered as she was backing out that she slammed into the back of my assistant manager's car, smashing her bumper. Easily a total loss for a car of that age and value. My assistant manager runs out to inspect the damage, only to find nothing on his car. Not even a single scratch. The entitled mom, dad, and their daughter all had to wait for a tow truck to arrive in our parking lot. And it was amazing to watch the look on their faces while they dealt with the side effects of their entitlement. As if that was not enough. Want to know what the best part was? 2 weeks later, I got a call from the entitled dad, asking if we had any rental cars available. It was hilarious how he tried to act as if nothing happened and returned after he vowed he wouldn't. He actually rented fairly regularly after that during my time there, and we never had another issue with him. He was even pleasant on some occasions, and this experience must have been humbling for him. Next story. I met my old workplace bully whilst he was on a date. So back in June, I left a very toxic workplace of 8 years. I mainly left due to having a breakdown from being overworked. But this one particular person made working there even worse, on top of the excessive work. This guy was 1 year younger than me. He was a 30-year-old man, the type of guy that appears to have peaked in secondary school. Very jock-like mentality and childish too. He was part of my team of 4. I was civil with him just because I had to work with him, but he was my workplace bully. Apart from just a general workplace banter, this guy, let's call him Chris, was relentless with his teasing. What would usually be classed as playful always pushed to bullying from him, because he never knew when to quit. And if he noticed you were getting stressed or annoyed, he'd use you as a target of his teasing for the rest of the day. He would be super nice to you when it's just the two of you, but as soon as he has an audience, he picks his victim and will tease them constantly in what he would call playful. And if you ever got annoyed and stood up for yourself, he'd say he's only missing, and make out like he's a victim. He's that type of person. One specific thing that he absolutely lost any respect I had for him was when I was still working there. Some ex-employee wrote a very aggressive and angry review on Glassdoor about the company, just because this person used the phrase that I use. Chris saw the review was mine. As much as I proved that it wasn't me, didn't even has a Glassdoor account at the time, he was relentless with campaigning around the office that I was the one that wrote it. I also believe he told the boss that I was the one that wrote it once I left, and that's why I didn't get any freelance work from them afterwards. So after I left my workplace, my old team still has a WhatsApp group that I'm a part of, and we still talk almost every other day on it. After I left, that group chat went a bit quiet. I assumed they made a new one of just them, which is fair, but the chat still kept going occasionally. I unfollowed and unfriended Chris on Facebook and Instagram because I just didn't want to be associated with him anymore. In the middle of the group chat, he broadcasts, "Why did you unfollow and unfriend me on Facebook?" He wrote this message at 6:30 a.m. I woke up to this message broadcasted in the group chat. It pissed me off, so I was honest and said that he's a bully. Instead of making a big thing of it, I'd rather just remove him from the equation. I also said that it was immature of him to do this over the group chat, and he did not say anything. He just left the group chat and blocked me on everything. The group chat pretty much died after that. I was at the time livid. This 30-year-old man set fire to the group chat, saw what I said and then ran off. I thought it must be a blessing in disguise because I finally got to say what I wanted to him and I now don't have to acknowledge him again. But I was wrong. Skip to 3 months later. Me and my husband walking through town and stopping off at a pub to get some grub. And lo and behold, I see Chris there with a new girl I hadn't seen before. I was feeling extra confident and decided to approach. I went and said, "Hey Chris, long time no see," with a big grin on my face. Chris looked like a deer in headlights, the perfect kind of red cheeks. I asked him, "How are things, you doing well?" And he replied in a very normal way, clearly not wanting the conversation to continue and looking awkward as hell in front of this new girl. She asked how we knew each other and I generously waited for Chris to say, "We used to work together." So I added onto that, "Yeah, it's quite funny really. Chris used to be my workplace bully. Here's a reason why I struggled financially after I left my old job, because he accused me of writing a hostile review to the company, which I proved I didn't do, and lost me a lot of freelance work because of it." He was gobsmacked, face redder than a traffic light. The new girl clearly looked confused and uncomfortable. Neither of them responded. I did not want to carry on much longer as it wasn't really fair on her, but just to add salt to the wound I said, "So is this your new girlfriend Catherine? Or is this Georgia? What happened with Sarah? Since someone said you were still with her last week." All of those are completely true, by the way. It gets around. This girl goes from confused to angry in the blink of an eye, and just stares at Chris. I just say, Oh, whoops. I really put my foot in my mouth, haven't I? I better go. It was nice seeing you again, Chris. And I walk off. My husband, whilst he felt bad for the girl, which I did too, but to be honest, I might have saved her from inevitably being dumped by him a few weeks later when he gets bored of her. He was very proud that I finally got my closure revenge on him. It feels amazing, like I feel pity as hell, but it felt good for there to finally be some consequences to this Chris guy being a jerk. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.